Hi there, students. To rend, R-E-N-D. It means to break something violently, to tear something with a lot of violence, to break into two. So the emergency services had to rend him free of the traffic accident, to pull him out, to tear him free from it. Um, yeah, he used his sword to rend the head off his enemy, to cut, to break the head off his enemy. Notice he rent his enemy in two. So to rend, an irregular verb, but you can also use it regularly. Rend, rended, or rend, rent, as in to pay rent, a rental car. But okay, so he rent it in two. A bolt of lightning rent the tree into pieces. To break something up violently, yeah, to remove from a place by violence, to wrest, if you like. He rent the bag out of my hands. Uh, the child was rended from its mother's arms. To split or tear apart into pieces by violence. Yeah. Um, he used a big hammer to rend the stone into various pieces. He rended his hair in desperation, in despair. Yeah. Yeah, he rent his clothes, he tore his clothes. And then again, I suppose to rend, you can use this mentally or emotionally. His world was rent in two when the woman of his dreams left him. The nation was rent into two factions that then went on to to start a civil war. To tear, to rip, to split, to cleave, even to rive, to separate forcefully. Okay. The dogs were rending the man's clothes to pieces. Yeah, the mourners at a funeral were rending their clothes in grief. Okay, so to rend, to tear apart, to break forcefully. The man rent the money from his hand. He pulled it from his hand. A loud scream rended the silence, to pierce or disturb with a loud sound. A flash of lightning rended the sky, broke it open. This is a heart-rending story. Yeah, you'll find that word heart-rending, heartbreaking. Yes, it rends your heart in two. Heartrending is a good example of this word. Okay, so to rip, to split, to separate, to sunder, something like that. Okay, so to separate into parts with sudden violence. An explosion rent the air, yeah, and the boat was rent in two by the explosion. To tear off forcibly, to take away, to amputate. Um, the limbs of the tree were rent from the trunk by the flash of lightning. Okay, so to rend. Relationships can rend if people get very angry with each other. Okay, so to rend, to tear, to break. Notice this is a formal verb. I think I would give it something like 7.5 in formality. To break, to smash, to split, to burst, to tear informally, but this for semi-formal and formal writings. And then as to origin, there was a Proto-Germanic word, "shanjana," to tear. Okay, so to break, yeah. Um, And yeah, be careful where you use it. It's a very formal word. Look up this word heartrending, a heartrending situation. It was a heartrending sight. It broke anybody's heart who looked at it. Okay, so to rend. And remember, an irregular verb, rend, rent, or rend, rended, rended, regular. Enough. If you enjoyed the video, give it a rating, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now. To Rend.